Alright, does someone want to count me
Okay, I
in?
was like, everyone?
We're
I know,
waiting
it went
for
really
the
quiet.
email.
I was giving Dash the evil eye. So I was like, be quiet. No, be quiet! Now she figures out that I'm yelling at her, so she's gonna come over to me and snuggle rather than cry. Alright, does somebody want to give me a count in?
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Oh, that was too perfect.
That was good.
That was an excellent beginning, too.
We'll definitely have to include that in the episode or
Oh,
something.
yes.
Hello, listeners.
Hi, listeners! Welcome to episode 31 of 4 Weebs, or That Anime Podcast.
Wait, is it 31
It's
or 30?
episode 30.
30. I can't count.
Meow.
Sorry, everyone. I'm the host again. Welcome to the podcast where we draw marbles and watch some animes, and some of them are good, and some of them are bad, and some of them are something else. My name's Becca, and I'm addicted to Pokemon Go. And that's Dash in the background. Someone else introduce
My
themselves.
name's Liam. My name's Liam. I have also started playing Pokemon Go. I'm not as hardcore as Becca, though. I wish I was. But, yeah, it's pretty fun. Gotta be careful, kids.
It's just because I have so much free
Watch
time.
where you're going.
Yes.
Don't get run over by a car.
Don't go into lures located in
Dark alleyways.
Weird dark alleyways at night.
The spot by the sentry box, the Pokestop there is down a dark alley, and I was a little bit skeeved out by that. Anyway, who else do we have with us today?
No one.
Beta?
Yeah, come on, guys. we're
My
doing
name's Leah,
instructions.
and I'm introducing Beta. Beta, talk to me about yourself.
Hi. I'm Veda. I haven't started playing Pokemon Go.
She's too busy with her tap-tap games.
I know.
Oh my
I have
God.
my Tappy Tap games, and that's all I need.
You're waiting for Digimon Walk, the
Sure.
new hot app.
You know,
Yeah.
Pokemon
I'm
Go
waiting.
is kind of a tap-tap game as well sometimes.
It is not live.
It is too!
Nope.
Yaha!
I don't believe
What
you.
do you know, Veda? You don't fucking
Yeah,
play
you
it.
don't play.
Yeah, but it's all over the internet, so I've seen 100 other million people play it.
Well, it's got tap-tap stuff to it, Veda.
Nah,
It does
Beta's got her
not.
nose in the air about the Pokemon Go.
I'm not
Mhm.
being snooty about Pokemon Go. I
Tappy
just
tap
don't-
only.
You
I
know
just
what?
don't have any interest in it.
You know what? While I'm being the very best, like no one ever was, you can keep playing your tap-tap Love Live games.
I will.
That's fine. Different strokes for different folks. So apparently my cats have decided to serenade us. I don't know what to do about this besides
No, just let it
Just
happen.
accept
God
that,
damn it,
that
Dash!
Dash is
It's
part
okay,
of the commentary.
Yeah,
I've
Dash.
heard worse things happen in other podcasts. So
That's true.
Plus,
Um,
Dash is adorable. For everyone who obviously doesn't know what Dash looks like, she's like the fattest, chubbiest gray cat ever, and it's so cute.
She's got the
I
cutest
just want
little
to squish her
pudge,
face.
but she's such
So
a
pudge.
she's such a princess sometimes. She's found her cat tree. She's being quiet now. All right. So this week, besides Pokemon Go, a couple of us watched a good anime. A couple of us watched a bad anime. Which anime do you think we want to talk about first?
I think the bad. Well, I would vote for bad, but I'm good either way.
I'm good with that. So
And bad it is.
Liam and Veda watched the bad one, which was Garzey's Wing. I actually read the name in Japanese, and it almost felt like I could have read it out loud, without only butchering it a little bit. It is Beitsten. No, it's already
Beisten?
gone. Beisten well Monogatari, or Gary's no Tsubasa.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure, yep.
that sounds like a wonderful rendition of whatever. It sounded kind
I
of
didn't know
Japanese.
the Japanese title, so I was just going
Yeah.
the English way.
This is on my anime list. It's so much easier to find just by typing in Garzey's Wing. That's how we found it.
Garzey's Wing?
Garzey's
Yeah.
Wing, yeah. So we were put on to this particular anime, if you missed last week, by a gentleman at Otafest here in Calgary. We watched a couple clips and decided that it looks hilariously bad, and
He
that
was
somebody...
like, "Oh, if you want shit out of my, this is like where it's at."
Yeah, it's been compared to Battlefield Earth, which I hear is an equally crappy show. It has a 3.83 on my anime list. And the very short, 2-sentence long synopsis. Yesterday, Chris's biggest problem was getting into a good college. Now his spirit has been hijacked by wings of light and transported into an ancient world. Summoned by an enslaved tribe to lead a bloody revolution, Chris must quickly adapt to his new surroundings or die.
Uh-huh.
Let's just start off by saying that when this episode comes out, we will be posting a hilarious video that Liam found, which is basically a compilation of the dub of this anime, and it is literally going to make you want to tear out your eyeballs, but also kind of be really happy at the same time, because it's hilarious.
You'll have a good time.
It's beautiful.
If you want to sit down and watch all 90 minutes of the whole thing, you'll probably go crazy, but it's a fun, wild ride.
It is.
Yeah. What did you think, Veda? I want to know what your initial impressions were.
Okay,
Microphone muted.
I just remember I got 2 minutes into this show and I had no
Microphone
fucking
activated.
clue what was happening. It's just so... It throws everything at you at once and you have no idea what's going on, and it decides to not explain anything. It's just you're supposed to understand this. Here's some shit happening, and I couldn't find the Japanese version. I tried to find the sub.
The funniest version of it is the dub,
I know.
though.
I just wanted to see if I could compare it, but I was like, nope, I guess I'm just gonna watch the dub. So I actually watched all 3 episodes all together at once.
Wow.
I don't know how I did it. But this anime is the best and the most awful thing at once.
It's the best at being the worst.
Yeah, it's so terrible. It's actually amazing. Especially with the dub. You kind of have to watch it dubbed just to experience the utter failure and just pure what the fuckery it is.
Were any of you able to find a subtitled version of it?
I couldn't.
No. I didn't try, but...
Every link I clicked on just put me through to the dub, and I was like, okay, well, guess not watching the sub.
Yeah, the dub is so amazing, though. It's clear. Well, I watched a video of Digibros where he kind of explains Garzey's Wing a bit, because it's one of his favorite animes. And he says he's watched it multiple times, but he's never been able to sit through the whole thing in one sitting.
Oh man.
And then what else was it? Yeah, the way it describes the way the English dub was done is each actor, went into the sound booth, shouted all their lines and enunciated them as hard as they could once, and then left.
Yes.
And then they splice them all together and they overlap, and it's so bad.
That's so accurate, though.
It's geez, Rumiko, I will go to the test after I go to my high school reunion pool party. You are so easygoing. And then, he's going on the...
angry, too.
Yeah. And then there's a shot of a giant cicada bug flailing around on the ground for no reason.
Yeah,
and they don't even address
literally
it.
the size of
It's the size of a fist.
It's huge.
I feel like the cicada was the thing that did it for me.
Yeah, and that's in the very first, that's in the first minute or two of the show.
It has some weird direction in this show.
But then, it gets better because he's riding his motorbike through the highway, and his magic necklace starts jiggling, and he's like, "Oh, could that be the shrine of Yukiteru Kumukuno?" And
but it's name.
This really long name, and every time he says it, which is frequently, he says the entire name.
But he botches the pronunciation is so hard and painful.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then,
God.
but then he gets picked up by this enormous magical goose that and then he's naked, goose. And then he's got these wings going off his ankles.
But no, at first he's naked.
So this anime was done in Leah. I can hear you typing.
96 to 97.
Honestly, I'm sorry, I know this is not part of the podcast, but because we're trying out the new TeamSpeak thing, some random guy just like added me and then poked me and said hi, and now I don't know if he can hear me.
You can mute him.
I saw that screenshot and I was like, oh, of course it's Leah.
Yeah,
what's happening too.
I had someone poke me as well. I'm just ignoring them. I muted them and just left them.
Okay, but if I mute them, they I just want to know if they can hear me.
I don't think they can hear us. We're part of a different channel.
Okay.
Oh, hey, yeah. I've got him here too. He hasn't poked me yet, though.
Okay.
He shouldn't be... We'll deal with that later. I've just been ignoring him.
Okay, that's fine. No, I was just concerned there for a minute, because I was like, no, I don't know if he can hear us, or what. Anyway, okay, we're good.
Side banter.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, Garzey's wing.
Yep.
Yeah. So this particular anime is from 1996, we found?
Yes.
Which makes it super old, and it doesn't look like it aged very well, I guess is my question.
Wasn't one of you mentioning a story about someone who went and had their Garzey's wing autographed by the writer, and he kind of just laughed? Isn't it the same guy who does Gundam?
Yeah, the director, it's the creator of Gundam. He's like the George Lucas of anime. That's what Digibro said.
Yeah.
Digibro was the one that told that story of this one kind of anime journalist who got his copy of Garzey's Wings signed.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that like specific name that he always says. Like, yeah. There's so many good lines. Like, there's one good line of a guy, like, he's kind of like trying to he's like got a pickaxe and he's being a slave or something, and it's just like the sound effects he makes with his voice. He's like,
the yelling sound effects were ridiculous.
Yeah, and then the guy is walking by on a horse, and he's just like, haha, humans are human. Humans are only human.
He's just a human. Humans are only human, or something like that. It was. I wrote that down. Half of my notes were just like fucking quotes from this, because I was like, this is great.
Some of the best lines are when like he wakes up back in the real world, because the way it works is like the magical duck like took the spirit out of his body and brought it like back in time to a fantasy world.
Explain it though.
Well, see, a lot of this was explained to me more by Digibro's video. But anyways, I think some of the best lines are from the part where he's like communicating to himself through his own mind. But he like jolts out of bed in the morning. He's just like, "Whoa! I just felt like I was just having a dream just now." And his necklace is shaking again, and then he starts talking to himself, and one of the best lines is like, "And my sword is unbelievably dull."
Oh yeah. I don't know why he said that.
I think Digibro's
to your channel.
Digibro's.
Oh my god, no, not this guy.
Digibro's channel is.
Becca, what did you do?
Shh! Just ignore me.
Digibro's
user in your channel
Tumblr
was banned from the server.
Ooh. Let's just apologize to listeners of bands. I don't even know if they can hear the
did you just ban,
but we're trying out a
ban the guy poking us?
We're trying out a new software.
Yeah, and I'm running the server, and we're new to TeamSpeak, so we're kind of learning as we go. He's gone now. He shouldn't be bothering us anymore.
That's weird. Maybe it's the creator of Gundam.
Oh my god. He's just here to make sure that we're not saying shit about his show. And now he's gone. He can't stop us. Bye! I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
It's okay.
Let us know, listeners, if you like the sound quality better.
Aside from our lapses of technical difficulties.
Let us know if you've been poked by random people on TeamSpeak. What was I gonna say about? Oh yeah, Digibro's Tumblr blog is called like "My sword is unbelievably dull." Tumblr.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
that's because
he likes or something like that. But yeah, and then there's another line that's like, "I'm in a war, and even dinosaurs are here."
Yes.
And then there's another line a couple minutes later. And it's like 12th and 13th century villagers surround me.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense at all.
No.
It's like Legolas got put into an anime, and it's like, thanks for pointing out the obvious guy.
Yeah, so none of it makes any sense, and like everything he says is like incredibly, it's like all shouted and like way too enunciated.
Everybody constantly shouts though. Like every character is screaming into the microphone like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to listen to sometimes because they're all just yelling at each other. You're like, oh my god.
I'm so calm right now.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines was at the beginning of the second episode. It was like a minute in, and he's like riding on that horse and he falls off, and he's like, I intentionally fell off to protect the horse's feelings.
Oh.
And then everyone starts laughing, but their laughter is like, ha 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 ha, and you're just like, this is really creepy.
This sounds brutal. I'm so happy that you had to watch it.
Yeah, it's
So you should though.
I was the third episode because I only watched the first two.
Honestly, by the end of the second episode, I was starting to just, like, drift. Like, I was watching it, but I was, like, half
You're,
paying
like, numb
attention.
to how terrible it is.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay. And then, like, half of the the third episode is just them fighting for a while. And I was like, okay, they're fighting the weird dragon creatures. And there's some, like, really awkward deliveries and stuff. But the third episode was, like, the first two are probably the best. Honestly,
it's probably a good thing it's short because then you can just like enjoy it for how awful it is. But then by that like third episode, you're probably like, okay, this is worn off for me now.
At the end, they do end up like he gets back to the real world and he's like riding on his motorbike with that one chick who was like stalking him. And then his feet get the wings, and they just, like, fucking fly into the sky on this fucking motorbike.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that shot, actually. Like, it just fly off into the sunset on, like, the motorbike, and this cheesy music plays.
Yeah, like, an 80s song starts
playing. Do you
playing,
think that the creators were on drugs when this was made?
There's a line about
I think
that.
It was just, like, there was just a ton of production issues, and, like, the fantasy world that's built up in this is clearly too large for, like, a 3-episode OVA.
Yeah, there's too much information they're trying to cram into that like short time frame.
I just thought of another good
Is it the drug one?
No, another good line where he's at the pool party.
Oh my god.
And then that one girl like steps out of the water. She's like, "Oh, hi, Chris. You look good." And he's like, "You sure got sexy."
Yeah. That's beautiful. Oh, this show is kind of great.
Yeah.
I like the one where they're talking about like the white powder that they use to, I don't know, as a drug basically.
Oh.
And then, I think we all know what white powder drug is.
Yes, they're talking about it, and then he's like, "It's what we call a drug in my world. If you taste it and smoke it, you get happy and do crazy things."
Yeah, that.
What?
That is exactly what they say, and I was just like, "This is weird."
Are they doing cocaine in the anime?
Potentially,
probably.
And doing
but it's
it
like
wrong?
This weird, like, don't do drugs, kids, kind of, like, that's how they frame it. It's weird.
So, if this is an OVA, was it, like, a manga first or something like that? And they were just...
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it was, but
they
it
just
been.
made it all on its own.
Oh, I found the name.
Oh, what was it?
Yamato Takeru no Mikoto.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, because I
Just
found a blog that has some quotes of it. So one of the quotes is, "Damn you, Yamato Takeru no Mikoto."
That's exactly how he says it too.
Apparently, later on, I guess you would have seen this. Like, eventually, he gets a sharper sword, and then at one break too, and then he's just like, "God damn it!"
Yeah, basically.
Your necklace is jumping, my friend.
He still tries to fight with like the stub of the sword, and you're just like, okay. And then he gets the, like, Garzey's wing thing, and then, I don't know, some weird shit happens, and then Garzey's wing goes inside of this dinosaur, and it dies, and then he stabs the other dude. I don't know, it was weird.
This sounds magical.
It actually is. Like,
I'm looking at a still from it right now of, like, him in his motorbike helmet, and the logo on top of the motorbike helmet looks like it says anal.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
Oh, and then
boy.
someone posted one of those really old Willy Wonka memes. That says, "Oh, you're preparing for your exam? You certainly got sexy."
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Then there's a motivational poster with a picture of him, like, in his bedroom, and it says, "Christopher Senshu. He is so easygoing."
Oh, yeah!
We're going to share all of these on our Facebook page so other people can see them.
Do you
Yes.
I
You
could have also
literally,
attended my high school
like-
class reunion.
Yes. But
Yeah.
you could honestly open any episode from the 3-episode OVA, skip to any time in the video, and you would land on quotable gold. Like, the whole thing is just so ridiculous. Everything is quotable from it.
That tends
And
to make for a
even
good
dinosaurs
show,
are
though.
here.
What did you say, Becca?
I was gonna say that makes for like a good show though when everything's so quotable.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so entertaining.
So do you think it deserves the 3.83 on my anime list?
No, it fucking deserves like a 20 out of 10. It's so good.
Well, I mean, it is like kind of hard to watch, so I would understand. Like it's clearly bad, so I mean, it deserves like a
high praise for laughs and
it's
terrible
bad
for
on a
substance.
quality level, but it's good in a humor level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It sounds wonderful.
I found that blog I was talking about of Digibros. It's actually a WordPress blog, so it's my sword is unbelievably dull.wordpress.com.
That's
Well, I have a lot of the
Nice.
stuff I have to
Wonderful.
say about Garzey's Wing. I have Digibro to thank, so
there you go.
go subscribe
enough.
to him.
Shout out to Digibro.
Thank you, Digibro.
Yeah,
Um,
so I mean, I kind of want to go back and watch the 3rd episode now, but I feel like I might just have like a Garzey's Wing viewing party and just start from the beginning.
Do it.
Because I
Yeah,
feel like that'd
I
be
will
the best
attend.
way to experience it. It's just
it
like,
would be.
yeah, because it's just so good.
It is.
So delicious.
It's yeah.
Well, when I picked it, I wasn't sure if I was going to be making enemies or not, so I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it on a lulz
Yep.
level.
It's definitely the worst one I've seen.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the
Even worse than
podcast,
School
but, like,
Days?
Yeah, oh, it was so bad, but like it was really enjoyable.
It's the worst thing
It's
I've
a different
ever seen.
kind of terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Um,
wonderful to hear, I
yeah.
guess.
There was something.
I'm sad there's no crying this week.
As far as like production goes, because not like focusing on the dub, like even just the animation quality and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it ranges from like decent to really shitty. Like they'll have a scene where like nothing will move and they'll just sort of float over everything, like and like the characters are very clearly just like sliding across the screen.
Like one of those stupid like picture story things that I watched for. Oh my
Kind
God,
of,
what
you
was
know
it?
how anime
Yeah.
kind of does that, where it'll just like here's a panning shot, but
Yeah.
like this is worse than that. It's like panning person.
Yeah, see, I was Digibro had something to say about that too. The fight scenes range from like decently well animated to like what is this clip art?
Yeah, well, sometimes they actually looked okay, and like in some of the backgrounds and stuff I noticed were like they were good. I was like, these aren't bad. I wanted to see it as terrible, but it wasn't. So, yeah, and like I don't know, all the color scheme ranged from like cute greens to like ugly brown colors, so it just created this like overall grimy dirt look to it, which
Yeah.
with a fantasy world just kind of makes it seem really bland.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, fantastical things are happening, here's some fucking dinosaurs,
The
It's
dinosaurs
just,
look like a dirt stain.
yeah, right, everything looks like it was covered in brown tones, and it just it all blends together really terribly, so
That's no
there's
fun.
that. No,
Gross.
but I mean it's worth to watch it just to hear the dub,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, don't watch the sub because like the sub is just kind of like a
It
badly
would
done
actually just
anime.
be bad.
It
Yeah.
doesn't really
Mhm.
become. It doesn't really become amazing until you watch dub.
Oh,
the dub
Yeah.
adds that extra level of cheesiness to the cheese.
Yep.
You bet.
Nice.
That's all
Excellent.
you can hope
I just there was like one thing. This is I don't know if it's not related or not, but they kept throwing out fantasy names like you're supposed to know what they mean. And
How do you
Yeah,
mean?
right?
times where I have a quote here. There's one where this guy was talking about the dinosaurs or something and how they were setting up their army tactics with the dinosaurs or whatever. And they're like standing on top of a cliff, and the one dude just starts talking, and he's like, "It is most effective to place a Duraga roll at Gabajuju." And I kid you not, that is the line that he says, and the other guy just goes with it. And then they mentioned this Gaba Juju like 5 or 6 other times.
What's a Gaba Juju?
I don't
That's a good question.
know. I wish I knew, but I don't. And when I first heard it, I had to rewind it like 3 times to make sure that was actually what he was saying. And it is. And this show is insane. It was beautiful, but like it's names like that where they'll be like, "Oh, the Abubula tribe are at war with the Mushkas," and you're just like, "What? Who are these people?" And they just start throwing
like
shit
clearly
at you.
this. If everything went right, this could have been like 100 episode long fantasy epic or something.
Yeah, it could have.
Wow.
If it was good.
I've tried to look up what a Gaba Juju is, and all that comes up is the Wikipedia for Garzey's wing.
I still don't know. Maybe it tells you in the Wikipedia.
I'll look later.
Gaba Juju.
Oh, no.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I kind of need to see this now.
You do. It's on YouTube, so like everybody can watch it.
The best kind of anime.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any
the stuff you can find on YouTube
for free? Do we have any last thoughts on this one? Besides, everyone should watch it
with friends.
Yeah,
watch it with friends. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Also,
potentially some drinks.
He is just a human. Humans are just human.
that line is great.
You're not wrong.
Nope.
Oh dear. Well, I feel
that's
like
the final verdict. Let's talk about the good one.
I feel like this one definitely isn't going on my to-watch list, but
you should watch it anyway.
If you have a viewing party,
it.
Liam, I'll watch it. Otherwise, I think I'll just watch the little YouTube clip and accept that as enough.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm at too. So, the good anime that Leah and I watched was Parasyte the Maxim. It has an 8.6 on my anime list. And its synopsis is, all of a sudden they arrive, parasitic aliens that descend upon Earth and quickly infiltrate humanity by burrowing into the brains of vulnerable targets. These insatiable beings acquire full control of their hosts and are able to morph into a variety of forms in order to feed on unsuspecting prey. 16-year-old high school student Shinji Izumi falls victim to one of these parasites, but it fails to take over his brain, ending up in his right hand instead. Unable to relocate, the parasite, now named Miggy, has no choice but to rely on Shinji in order to stay alive. Thus, the pair is forced into an uneasy coexistence and must defend themselves from hostile parasites that hope to eradicate this new threat to their species. Very exciting. It's, this is from 2014, and I picked it because I'd seen a lot of buzz about it, and I was like, there has to be at least 1 or 2 masturbating jokes or something, which is exactly what I was hoping for when watching this.
What's the parasite's name?
Miggy.
Because it's his right hand. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk to you about that, but I was like, Beta will understand. The whole time, like, because he didn't have a name for him, and as soon as he was like, "Oh, I need a name for you," I'm like, "It's gonna be Miggy."
You called it. Good job.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm. What was its name? Miggy?
Miggy. As in, like, your Miggy hand, which is your right hand. Yep.
Well, Miggy is the direction of right.
Yeah. So, initial thoughts?
Do you want me to get mine first?
Yes,
please. I was like, what? I really liked it. I've watched 6 episodes.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of just general initial thoughts. I don't know, when you read the beginning of the description, you think it sounds like it could be almost kind of hokey or something like that. I don't know. But it actually ends up really good, and I really like the animation, actually.
Yeah?
I think it's nice.
Cool beans.
I don't know, I don't really have much to say without kind of getting into it more.
Yeah, no.
I've liked it.
Fair enough. I guess my initial thoughts, I didn't not like it. It's just there's a couple things that I wish there was more of, but there's some really good stuff there as well, so
One day we will find an anime where Becca's like, oh, I loved it.
I'm
gonna keep going.
I've found animes. I've said that for a couple different animes now.
Last week she finished the anime.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. I forgot about that one.
I feel like it's
so good.
Just maybe our tastes don't particularly align sometimes. Yeah. And like I said, it's not necessarily like it was a bad anime. I just like there's a few things that I was like, I wish this was done a little bit differently. But I'm still really interested in the premise is still really interesting to me, and there's enough parts that like I'm still gonna keep it on my queue in Crunchyroll. So anyway, let's get into it because it sounds like we'll have a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Sorry, I need to just go back. You talk for a bit. I need to write down.
Okay.
I wrote down what happened at the end of episode 3, so I don't give anything away.
Okay.
I kept going.
Yeah. So essentially, the overview of the first 3 episodes is episode 1. Shinji, he wakes up and his hand is numb, and he doesn't know what's going on with it. And we have kind of a flashback that shows that his hand was infested by this parasite, and in order to keep it from the parasite from getting into his brain, he like cut the circulation off for his arm, and that's where the parasite kind of took root and began to live.
Which is actually quite smart.
Yeah. Well, and you find out later that like the parasite actually has eaten his right hand and basically like taken over that part or replaced his hand. So the parasite has to be attached to him, and when the parasite is asleep, it just looks like a regular hand, and after they have like a discussion about what's going on, the parasite Miggy is all like, I'll tell you what, you can have control of me when I'm sleeping, so it looks like you're fine and you have your regular hand and everything will be good. At the same time, you're learning that a lot of these parasites have come to Earth and there's other people that are infected, and because of the parasites, there's this event going on in the background called the mincemeat murders, where tons of people are being found just like brutally slaughtered. There's a couple like pretty like brutal shots.
Yeah, like, well, because the parasites are basically cannibals of whatever species their host is.
Yeah.
So like one takes over a dog, so it's eating another dog. The ones that take over the humans eat other humans. But the thing is so with Migi, because he didn't successfully take over his entire body of his host, he kind of just feeds off his blood, so he doesn't. So I can't remember what his host's name is. I need to look it up.
Shinji.
Right. Yes.
Shinji, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. So he just feeds off Shinichi's blood, and he can eat regular food and all that jazz. Yeah. So. Also, it's kind of cute, also kind of gross and just weird at the same time. So, what happens when Migi's awake is like his index finger gets really long and has like an eyeball on the end of it.
Yeah.
And then on the palm of his hand is like its mouth talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
like a humanoid mouth too, like lips and stuff show up and teeth and
weird.
Like a throat and a tongue. It's really weird.
A throat?
Yeah.
It's kind of cute and really gross at the same time. And it can like extend his fingers really long and elasticy and like this, that, and the other.
He's kind of like pulled taffy almost when he becomes like the alien parasite type thing.
He's like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, okay. And like the thumb becomes like a blade and stuff like that because they all have blades for cutting things up to eat. But he can take, like, Miggy can take different forms and stuff like that, and, like, if he needs to look around a corner that's, like, half a building away, he can, like, stretch out and look around the corner, and Shinichi doesn't have to move or anything like that. So, it's interesting. Yeah, so episode 1, they kind of become introduced. Episode 2, it's kind of Shinichi coming to terms with his new little parasitic friend, and they learn more about each other, and it's almost like the parasite is also learning about himself and his species. He doesn't know where he came from, or why they exist, or like what their intention is. And then episode 3, we're introduced to a teacher who's actually a parasite. When they take over a person's head, essentially they take how the person looks, but the head can also morph and change, kind of like how Miggy becomes all like fluid and gross. And that's how they eat other people, is by like
their heads open up into like giant mouths.
Yeah.
And they just like chomp.
Gross.
Yeah. And we're kind of left on like a cliffhanger at the end of episode 3 where there's another parasite that's coming to try to like kill Miggy and Shinichi because it doesn't like anybody else around, and it really doesn't like not knowing what Miggy is.
Yeah, so the one who takes over the female teacher's body is a little more, like, intelligent, and, like, has already managed to, like, adapt itself to the woman's life already.
Yeah.
And then what she decided to do to try as an experiment is she, like, found this other parasite who took over this man who's not as intelligent and doesn't really know what's going on, and he's, like, eyes all twitchy, whatever. They have sex, she gets pregnant, but her baby is just, like, a regular human baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a parasite. Anyway, they ended up... They meet with Shinichi and Migi because they want to, like, you know, just find out more about what's kind of going on. And the male parasite doesn't like it and is all, he's trouble, I need to kill him. And then shows up at the school and tries to, like, massacre him.
Yeah.
So the teacher, who's a parasite, hooked up with another parasite human and made a regular human baby.
Yeah, because the parasites are essentially inhabiting, like, the head portion of the host. And the body is just there to kind of, like, sustain them and keep them going.
So all the biological stuff is still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they're still technically, physically a human.
Yeah.
So what, do they, like, keep the baby and, like, raise it and pretend to be human?
Pregnant.
Yeah, like, she's pregnant and, like, she knows she's pregnant, but she isn't even showing. Like, she's not clearly visually pregnant or anything. So
she just knows it's, like, a human baby, though?
Yeah. Well, like, the way she states it, she's like, so then we had sex and I got pregnant, and do you know what that baby is? And Shinichi's like, I don't know, like, why would I know? And she's like, that's right, it's a human baby. And he's like, oh my gosh, shock and amazement, that's not right. What does this mean? And we're not really, like, filled in anymore on what it means either. So, there's a lot of, I guess that was part of, like, one of my issues with it, is it feels like there's a mystery going on, but nobody has any answers. Besides, like, the parasites are cannibalistic and they like to eat other people and they're very self-centered and only want to, like, keep themselves alive. But we don't really know where they came from or what caused them to suddenly start invading Earth. And I'm like, I just want, like, a couple more tidbits to really get me interested. But
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. And
I can tell you, Becca, that, like, stuff starts to go in a bit of a different direction and things get a little bit erased on you and you're like, wait, what? And then you want to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that wasn't even, like, my biggest issue. I feel like the thing that really kind of left me feeling flat is that Shinichi just feels like he's, like, a plot device rather than a person.
See, I kind of disagree with that because I kind of liked him because he's not an idiot. He already has a girlfriend, and he's not all like, oh, I'm so shy. Like, you know, like, I get it. He technically is a bit of a plot device, but what else would you do with a character in this situation?
Yeah.
Right? You know? Well,
I guess for me, it's just, like, a matter of, like, even, like, his interactions with his parents feel so, like, bland and, like, nobody's really interested in what's going on with anybody else, and I don't know, it's so hard to describe, where it's just, like, I don't know, like, what his interests are, or what he did with himself before this parasite took over. We're kind of introduced, kind of, like, right after he gets the parasite, and that's the only thing about him that's of any interest whatsoever.
One thing I will say that I felt like I liked and disliked was how kind of quickly he accepted this parasite.
Yeah.
He was, like, kind of cool with it. Like, part of me likes it, because I'm like, okay, we don't have to deal with all the bullshit that other shows would probably do with him freaking out and figuring it out and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you also accepted that really fast.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, and maybe that's part of it, too, where it's just, like, maybe they're just trying to get to, like, the plot line of what needs to happen. And I guess I can appreciate that, because that's often been an, like, gripe of mine, where it's like they spend too much time actually getting to, like, start the story. So that's, I don't know, like I said, there's something there where I'm like, I just need something like him being like, oh man, now I can't do thing that I'm interested in anymore, or, like, any posters or anything. He just seems like very kind of, like, average Joe, everyday man person, so, like, he could be anybody. And
that changes.
Well, and I'm curious because, like, he looks so, in the intro, like, the very last shot of him, he looks so badass.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that doesn't even look like it's the same person. So, like, what happens? But, yeah, that was my biggest...
change and it gets interesting.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. I was like, by the end of episode 3, I was like, I should be into this. Like, there's interesting things happening. What am I missing? And it was mostly his character that I was just like, I wish you were more interesting to me.
Like, for you and, like, for listeners, too, like, I can see where towards the 3rd episode you're kind of like, meh. Like, what made me want to keep watching is because the 3rd episode ends with the male parasite and, like, ready to confront Shinichi and kill him. So I was like, okay, well, like, I want to know what happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
let's see
how
bad
going, and like I'm glad I did because things really pick up after that, and you can kind of tell where the plot's going, and it just gets better.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, worth it to keep going, basically.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Can we please talk about the dirty jokes, though?
Yes.
Please.
Well, okay, so when I picked this anime, like I said, I was like, his right hand gets turned into, like, a parasite alien thing that has a personality. There better be, like, masturbation jokes or something that happens. And I'm so happy it does.
I know. And in, like, ways better than you anticipate.
Yeah, because I was like, if it's just, like, a masturbation joke, like, I'm happy. But then the way that they did it, so... He's going to the wash... Well...
Okay, so...
Back it up a couple steps. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, he's on the way walking to school, and then the girl that he, like, you can tell kind of has a thing with, like, you know, comes up to say hi, and the next thing you know, his hand is, like, on her boob. So, that, you know, really typical anime, whatever. Hands on boob, she slaps him, whatever, and he's like, I don't know why I did that.
But it's made me more funny because he's like, I didn't even realize I was grabbing you. Yeah. He, like, looks down and he's, like, full force, like, hands buried in boob flesh, like...
Yeah, I think that's before he knows about the parasite.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's all like, oh my god, you're such a jerk, blah, blah, blah. Even though you can tell she's totally not mad because she totally wants him. But anyway.
Nice.
So then, they have gym class together, and then they're going to put things away, basically, into the one storage room, and he's kind of just like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. They have this discussion. She turns around to leave, and his hand, like, all of a sudden, like, morphs into, like, a penis, basically. But you only see it for, like, a split second. But it's, like, God, like, you know, Mickey's eyeball and, like, a mouth, but, like, in the penis. And he's just, like, obviously, like, slaps it down and is, like, freaking out. And the girl turns around, like, you know, like, did you say something? And he's like, nope.
No.
And he's like, he was like, yeah, basically, I just wanted to understand, like, human mating. Like, you wanted to mate with her, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that's how he phrases it. It's like, you wanted to mate with that female.
Yeah.
But this is the part where he goes into the bathroom afterwards. Miggy says something about, like,
he's going pee, and he's like, let me try and, like... Even sound like make you, like, ejaculate or something like that.
Yeah, I would like to make this ejaculate or something along those lines. And he's like,
or let me try and give you an erection or something like that.
And he's like, no, stop it. Meanwhile, there's a guy in the stall next to him, just, like, gives him the look, like, are you talking to your Johnson? And that's how they phrase it. And I was like,
why are you talking to your Johnson?
Oh my
god. Sounds pretty funny.
It's really good. Well, and, like, some of the stuff are, like, kind of these really weird, like, gross visual gags. Like, the very first time they run into another parasite, the parasite has taken over a dog body.
Oh, yeah, I didn't enjoy that at all.
It, like, goes to attack them, so Miggy's like, motherfucker, you better run! So Shinichi and Miggy, like, bolt, and this dog monster parasite thing changes into, like, I think I wrote down, like, a dog gut butterfly.
Oh, it's what? And it was like a corgi beta.
Oh my god!
It was a corgi!
So, like, the parasite portion, like, splits in half, and, like, it becomes, like, a butterfly type thing, so it can fly to chase him. Mm-hmm. But it's got, like, the weird dog features and stuff. It was really gross. Like, it reminds me a lot of, like, stuff from, like, Videodrome, or The Thing.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that really gross, like, 80s horror, like, body horror, goopy type
stuff.
Like,
the practical effects?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, it's got a really weird visual look to it, but it's kind of neat. Like, And then the sound effects they add for like when Miggy's changing and stuff, it kind of sounds a little bit like a wet fart. Like in some ways, which I thought was really funny and I kind of liked because I was like, it seems appropriate to how he's changing his body.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, there's stuff in here that was like really fun to watch and really enjoyable, and yeah. I just wish that Shinichi was a little more interesting.
He gets more interesting.
Yeah, well, I would hope so.
At least, and he's not a total bitch either. Like, at least he actually tries to, like, stand up for himself and others a little bit and stuff like that. And
Well,
a decent person. Did you get to the part with the cat?
Where the cat's buried in the sandbox?
Yeah, and those three assholes are, like, trying to throw rocks at it. I was like, no!
Yeah, I was like, he should go fuck those people up, because that's not right. And then he just kind of scares them away, which I guess is the second best thing. But, yeah, that made me really sad. Should we talk about the music for a moment?
Yes.
What did you think of the music?
The opening, okay, full for one, okay, Japan has a lot of really good hardcore music, which is what the opening was, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, I haven't heard a hardcore opening since Death Note.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it, personally.
I quite liked the opening. That closing song is completely not...
different? Yeah. Like, out of left field. Yeah, it's a good song, but it just doesn't seem...
doesn't fit the series.
No, like, it's not relevant.
It's like one of those like soft, like romantic-y type songs.
Yeah.
With like images of like watercolory, like scenic spring paintings and stuff like that. Like you would have put
it at the end of your episode 7 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, compared to like the rest of the show is like I said, like that weird like John Carpenter blobby horror and like people being like, there's a scene where somebody's been like clearly devoured by one of these parasites and their guts are hanging across like a laundry line.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of gore and stuff that's going on in this show.
That sounds great.
Yeah, Veda, that's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
But then you have this nice soft romantic song at the end to like wrap it all up, and I was just like, this is weird.
And it's not even like they put like sadder or more like almost creepy visuals with it, because then it could have been more of like an ironic kind of thing, like this nice happy song with like more dark visuals. It's just like completely doesn't even belong there.
Yeah. But it's all just like happy and sunny, and maybe it's like there to kind of ease people out of like all the fucked up shit that's happening in the anime.
Like, feel better, here's some watercolor paintings. Trying to make up for the horror you just watched.
Yeah.
I really like the opening though.
Yeah, no, the opening
is really good.
Like, I'm not really a fan of like screamy music, like like singers that scream. I'm usually pretty turned off, but I liked the opening and I liked it went really well together. So yeah.
And what's funny, I usually really, really, really dislike hardcore music, but for some reason, any hardcore music I have liked has been in Japanese.
But it's kind of like starts off poppy. Like,
it's more like emo music. Yeah. It's got the mixture of the pop and the screaming.
Yeah, and the screaming comes in a little bit later in the song, so like by the time you're there, you're like, oh, now this is happening. Okay, well there's only 30 seconds left anyway. But yeah, I was thinking of like, so during the episodes, whenever a battle or something tense happens, it turns to, like, really hard... I don't even know if it's necessarily hardcore, but, like, super EDM, like, Skrillex type like, music.
Dubstep kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the right like dubstep, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's exactly what I was thinking when I heard it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't like this.
It's an interesting choice for an anime.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it fit quite properly. Like, it was too digital. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I get what they were going for. Like, I wouldn't even say I disliked it. But it did kind of throw me off at first. Yeah. But then you get used to it and you're like, okay, this is fine. Yeah. But it takes you off guard a little bit the first time you hear it. You're like, oh.
Well, and I'm not a huge...
bass drop.
I'm not a huge dubstep fan to begin with. So, yeah, it was definitely... It takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't dislike it, I don't like it. I find a lot of it sounds the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But... Otherwise, no. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it on my queue on Crunchyroll just because I think I'll want to go back and watch more of it eventually. But there's other shows I'd rather watch right now. And that might be part of it, too, where I'm just like, I need to be in the right mindset. I just finished watching like Stranger Things on Netflix, and it has a
I heard it was really good. Like
yeah,
almost like Things the Goonies mixed with Super 8.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it also has like those John Carpenter The Thing callbacks for like the horror and everything. So I've just watched something that did it really, really well, like in a different medium. But oh no, what's going on?
What?
My computer went to sleep. It's okay. We're all right. You can still hear me.
I'm liking all these John Carpenter vibes.
Yeah, well, and that's like I thought of you, Liam, when I was watching. I was like, this is exactly like Videodrome and stuff like that even comes up. And
yeah, I think you would like this, Liam.
It has kind of like are any of you familiar with the movie They Live? It's like this guy.
I vaguely know about it. Yes.
Yeah, this guy gets like sunglasses, and the sunglasses let him see that some of the population are aliens. But nobody believes him, so it's just like him going on like a one-man rampage to get rid of all the aliens on Earth. This kind of reminded me of a bit because Shinichi's kind of like, we need to get rid of the parasites. And you can kind of see him like leaning towards becoming that person that's going to go on like the one-man rampage and get rid of them. So
it is interesting though because Migi is truly a parasite. Like it's kind of interesting that way. He doesn't have empathy. He doesn't understand the value of life. He only understands sustaining his life.
Yeah. Well, he says so many times, like, I'm just invested in keeping myself alive.
Yeah.
Like, I really like when he's first introduced. He doesn't quite speak any language yet, and he's trying to communicate. I don't know. He isn't cute visually, but the personality.
He is at the same time.
Yeah, it's weird. Especially when you think that he's completely, like, he's only worried about himself and will pretty much kill anybody.
Self-preservation is all he cares about, and he's actually like he's truly like a parasite. And then even in the 6 episodes I watched, like it is just interesting because he does things and says things that almost makes you think that maybe he's developing a bit of humanity, but then he'll explain it after and be like, you kind of realize it still was just for self-preservation. So it's just kind of interesting because, I just think it is.
I'm really curious. Like, I am really curious to kind of see how it ends. Like, if they have to live together forever, or if at a certain point he's just going to be like, I guess I'm going to live life without a right hand anymore, and just like chops his right hand off to get rid of me. Yeah,
that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I agree. Do we have any final thoughts, or is there anything else to discuss?
I don't think so.
Try to look through my notes. I feel like so there's the scene where Murano is the name of the girl that he's kind of boyfriends with, but when she like comes up to him is like, meet me in the gym closet at another point, like later on, and then the other dude walks up and like takes Shinichi away and is like,
you know I like her, right?
Yeah, you know I like her. Fight me! And I was just like, oh my god. The fight me did it for me. And then he like starts to beat Shinichi up. And shit goes down a little bit, but it was an excellent line.
Fight me,
all of a sudden there's like this little gang war going on, and you were like, what?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
It was good. Yeah.
Fight me!
That was good. Fight me. I know that guy. I was like, oh, you're such a thug. Typical thug.
That's exactly it. Oh, dear.
Yeah. No, I think it was good. I think it's worth people giving a watch. I'll keep watching.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Do it.
I shall.
Excellent. Alright. So we need to do the marble draw for the week. I need to find where I put the marbles. There they are. Let's see how much louder they sound now that we have better call quality.
Oh boy.
They sound about the same.
Good. I kind of kept them back. Alright, so I think we're recording on a different day because we've had our weeks a little bit scrubbed up. Yeah, so we're gonna draw marbles. Liam got the red marble last week, so he's picking our animes. Who wants to go first? Or do we hear the animes first? We always do this. So
no, you draw first.
Draw first, then animes. Leah wants to go first.
Yeah.
Leah gets a white marble.
Yay.
Yay! Who
Not
would
that
like
that really means anything at this point.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Veda gets the red marble.
Finally.
So that's great.
You know, we would have made you watch the bad one anyway, regardless of if you were the red marble.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're still getting back at you.
I know. It was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
didn't do it on purpose.
You forgot about us, Veda. You
I
forgot
lost
about all
track of
three
time.
us.
I was
Oh, we're
having-
supposed to be recording? Oh, I forgot.
I was hanging out with people. Sometimes
we're
I
not
have
important.
a life.
But you're supposed to hang out with us, Veda.
I am hanging out with you. I'm hanging out with you right now.
Let's see how it is. Alright. Who's watching the shitty anime with you, Veda?
Ooh, who haven't I watched bad stuff with in a while? I'm gonna pick Becca.
Oh.
I haven't talked to you in a while.
But we've been watching such good
You
stuff
wanted
recently.
to hang out, okay?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
We'll get together and watch the bad anime together.
Okay.
Just the two of us.
Okay.
We can make it
Just
if we
the-
try.
A nice little.
Just
Can we have
two
like
of us.
nice wine and some candles too?
Well, of course.
Obviously.
I'll spread some rose petals about the couches.
Oh, perfect.
So you know
I
which
love
one
it.
we're gonna have sex on later.
Oh,
Set it up.
Liam, what are we watching?
so the theme I picked for
What's the
this.
foreplay for them?
I need to know what's setting this up.
Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that.
Oh no.
So the theme for this week is animes that are really fan servicey and have cool fucking swords.
Swords.
It's a good theme.
Although I haven't
Actual
decided.
swords, or
I haven't decided on the final wording on the theme. It started off as just like animes with sword fighting, and then it turned into like animes with sick swords, and it turned into like fan
Sick swords
servicey
and
animes with
animes
sick
with
swords.
titties.
I like that rhymed, Becca.
Mm. We
So
set it up.
the bad anime is Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry. Translated is Chivalry of a Failed Knight.
I think
And
Interesting.
caught
They
a
had this-
couple episodes of this at Otafest.
I was gonna say I think I
must
saw
have
it
missed
in
that.
the Otafest handout, and I was like, I'm almost interested in that, and then I didn't go watch any of the screenings. But
It was when I was watching it, everybody in the room was like collectively groaning at all the
Oh really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
It was
great.
pretty
Yeah, I
fan
just
servicey.
like Google imaged it, and oh boy.
Veda, you know what that means?
What?
There's gonna be a lot of groaning during our anime date.
Well, bring it on.
I'll bring it if you bring it.
Oh, my body is ready.
Yeah.
So's mine.
I'm looking at some Google images for it right now, and it's like, yep.
Oh boy.
Your bodies
And-
will be ready.
Great.
The good anime does fan servicey stuff in a whole different way, and that's Kill la Kill.
I
Which-
finally get to watch
Yeah.
it.
Which,
After
Yes, you do.
to be honest, here we did do this before, but it was on one of our like
Unreleased
secret
episodes.
test episodes, and I love the anime so much and think it deserves to be on one of the actual released episodes. So we're doing it again
It gets a second chance.
because it's so good.
Yeah.
And
It
I
is
can't wait
Finally
to talk about
be
it.
part of the discussion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that worked out. Rather
Hopefully
than
it's not overhyped for you, Leah. It
I'm
won't
sure
be
it'll
like
be
the
fine.
Code Geass episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Poor
Well, I mean,
Code
the Code
Geass.
Geass was good for everyone except for you, Becca. But-
One day, and in my defense, I did start watching it some more, and I got to like episode 11 before I ran out and watched something different. So it was going well for a while.
Keep watching it.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't
one
know,
day.
man. I think at this point she might be too far gone.
Maybe.
I just had better things come up. Like,
Oh, I should read the synopsis for these
Oh yes.
while I'm at it. Let's see how my anime list does. So for failure or chivalry of a failed knight, There are some humans capable of using magical power to manifest their souls as weapons and control forces beyond normal comprehension.
That sounds like my warlock in D&D.
Okay, here's the best part, though. These people are known as blazers.
Blazers. Huh.
And those who are recognized as such can undergo training at academies to become mage knights.
Excellent.
Iki Korigane is an aspiring mage knight, despite being considered the worst student at the academy.
Of course.
Sorry, I accidentally scrolled to the bottom of the page. As an F-ranked blazer, the lowest rank possible. One morning, he accidentally stumbles upon Stella Vermilion, a visiting princess, an A-ranked blazer who was just enrolled at Hagun in a state of undress.
Of course.
There's that grammar there. As a result, she challenges him to a duel where the loser will be the winner's slave.
Do you think she fights him in her state of undress?
Oh, there's multiple states of undress. I'll tell you right now.
Are you making us watch a hentai, Liam?
No, it's definitely not hentai.
It's just
kind of like it's a harem, pretty much. It's
I was just about to ask that based off the pictures if it was a harem.
It's basically a harem.
Ecchi harem?
But like, yeah, I won't spoil anything. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be a fun episode because I've seen Kill la Kill and I've seen 2 episodes of the bad one already. So.
And a couple of us, well, I also have seen a bit of Kill la Kill, so it'll be a good conversation all the way around.
It'll be a great conversation for everyone but me.
No, it'll be great for you too.
I've seen Kill la Kill, not the other one.
Don't waste your time on the other one.
I won't.
But I mean, like Veda and Becca, like I'm sure you'll have a great time.
I don't know. I do like various states of undress. So.
Anyways, Kill la Kill. After the murder of her father, Ryuko Matoi has been wandering the land in search of his killer. Following her only lead, the missing half of his invention, the scissor blade, she arrives at the prestigious Honoji Academy, a high school unlike any other. The academy is ruled by the imposing and cold-hearted student council president Setsuki Kirien, alongside her powerful underlings, the Elite Four. In the school's brutally competitive hierarchy, Setsuki bestows upon those at the top special clothes called Goku uniforms, which grant the wearer unique superhuman abilities. Yeah, Goku, right? We'll get more into this next week, but Kill la Kill is all about deconstructing tropes and being a satire at some point. So,
but also badass chicks and
but it's
giant
also
swords.
So good. We'll get more into it next week. And
I'm excited.
Between the 2 animes, there's plenty of opai for everyone.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. I'm so happy. It's what I've always wanted.
Having quickly Googled Chivalry of a Failed Knight, I kind of feel like I'm probably going to show up and say it's the greatest anime I've watched yet.
Oh, there you go.
Really?
It is Becca.
That's what I was going to say. Well, probably. It wouldn't shock me at all.
I mean, it's no Garzey's wing.
Well.
I'm curious if it's better or worse than Super Lovers.
Oh boy.
I guess we'll find out.
Alright, we will find out. Find out next week, listeners.
Let us know how the new software worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, how we sound.
Don't forget to check us out on all those social media things like Facebook and iTunes and Podbean. That's actually the 3 places we're located. At some point, we'll eventually be putting our episodes up on YouTube. So if you'd rather follow us there for some reason, I don't know. I don't know, listeners. What's on your mind? We'd love to hear. Do you have any comments on Garzey's Wing or on Parasyte or anything else we've talked about tonight? Let us know.
Yeah.
My Facebook is so quiet. Nobody talks to me anymore.
We're so lonely. Since Veda doesn't want to hang out with us, maybe some of you will. On social media.
I'm going to change Veda's mind. When we have our anime date, I'm going to blow her mind.
You're going to blow my mind.
And then she'll want to hang out with people all the time. And come Pokemon Going with me. Oh my gosh, it'll be great.
You're going to convert me.
Of course I am. Only to the best religion, which is Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, huh?
Yeah. Team Valor forever.
Okay,
good
good
luck
night,
with this.
everybody.
Yes.
Before I make some terrible Pokeball joke related to balls, I don't know.
Oh,
Too late.
My favorite thing to yell when I'm trying to catch a Pokemon is "get in my balls," because I'm a child, and I've at least got Adam repeating it.
That's good.
Oh
Let's
boy.
leave it there.
We'll,
Get in my balls.
We'll see everyone next time. Or I guess we won't. You'll hear us next time.
We won't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
unless you comment.
Goodbye.
I just need Dash to come in
Stop
and go,
rambling, jeez.
Bye.